Hello, welcome to Selah as we continue our special journey through Lent. Each weekday we'll be taking time out to pause and reflect on 7 different spiritual disciplines. There'll be a different one for each day of the week. If you've forgotten what they are, you can check them out on our Facebook or Instagram pages for a reminder. Today is the first Monday, and we're giving this day over for the next 6 weeks to explore the discipline of simplicity and poverty, and to think about what that might look like in different areas of our lives and how it can help us grow in our walks with Jesus. I'm very much at the start of this journey, and if you'd like to join me in this over Lent, then I welcome you on the road.
I will stop and breathe in your presence. Just breathe. Just breathe.
Life is very full, isn't it? There are always so many things to do, so many things to sort out and organise, so many things that fill our hearts and our heads and vie for our attention. There are errands we need to run, kids we need to look after, houses we need to clean, stuff to sort out at home, things to buy, plans to make, weddings to organise, family and friends to catch up with. All while the society and culture that we live in is telling us that what we have isn't enough, that we need to constantly be seeking bigger and better and newer and more, and all of these things will make you happy. But do they? Or does all of the above make you want to go and find a corner to sit in and sob because it all feels too much? That's how I feel. There's an awful lot of stuff there, isn't there? We talk about homes being cluttered. When homes get in this state, they stop feeling relaxing to be in. The space can feel stressful, and not knowing where to start sorting it all out can feel overwhelming, and so you don't do anything about it. You want to escape and make a change, but you don't quite know how or where to begin, and so things get worse. You need help, but who can you ask? I don't think this applies to just homes. Life can get to a point where it feels like that. Mine certainly feels anything but simple sometimes. Simplicity is defined as the quality or condition of being easy to understand or do. But what does simplicity mean or look like from a spiritual point of view? I'm going to quote some things at you now. Somewhere on Google, I found this. The spiritual discipline of simplicity is to intentionally shed the things of this earth that are keeping you from fully experiencing the life God desires for you. Simplicity is letting go so that you can make more room in your life for God. It's creating margin and space in your life to breathe more freely and loose the chains of the world. It's making room in our lives so that we can actually see God and have heart-to-heart connection with Him, rather than money, possessions, and a very busy calendar filling our line of sight between our eyes and His and stealing our peace and focus. But what is this letting go and what does it look like? I wonder if it's these words of Jesus in Matthew 16, which say, "For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it." That's God's upside-down kingdom again. If we try and hold on to life and what it has to offer and all the things that we can accumulate, we'll lose our lives. But when we choose to lose our lives for Jesus and to live open-handed and open-hearted before God and others, there we find life. In Luke, Jesus says, "Sell all your possessions and give to the poor." Now, don't worry, I'm not suggesting that we all go and get rid of everything right now, but I think the challenge Jesus throws to us there is to live radically, to walk in simplicity and to be generous with what we have, to not fear lack and poverty ourselves and allow that to stop us from giving, to think about what we need versus what we want. Society tells us that they're the same thing, but they're not. There are lots of different things we can simplify in our lives. Our social calendars, our rooms, our wardrobes, the things we allow our minds to fill up with. I think as we declutter and simplify our lives, we'll see that we find more of God. We'll begin to make way for Him to occupy our hearts. As we start to fill our lives with Him and not with things and busy schedules, as we get rid of the unnecessary, we'll find it easier to give of ourselves and our resources to others. We'll have more to give. Richard Foster says that simplicity is an inward reality that results in an outward lifestyle. Both are necessary. Jesus says in Matthew 6 that we're to seek first the kingdom of God And from that place, God will supply everything else we need for life. Our primary goal is to seek after Jesus. The more time we spend with him, the more our hearts and values will be aligned with his, and the more we'll lean on him and see that all things come from him. That's the inside stuff, but what about the outward? What does that look like? Well, it may express itself differently for each one of us. There isn't a one-size-fits-all way of practicing the discipline of simplicity. Areas that might be a struggle for me may not be for you, and vice versa. We don't want to become legalistic about it and say that everyone can only have 10 things in their wardrobe. But let's have a moment to pause and think. Are there any things that you feel are stopping you from fully experiencing what God has for you in relationship with him? Are there things that are stealing your focus or your peace? Things in your life that need decluttering or cutting back on? Are there things you think you need to say no to? What would help you to breathe and draw nearer to God? At Selah, we talk about how this time is a chance to pause, draw near to God, catch our breath, and refresh our spirits. I believe over the Lent period that more than ever is our invitation to stop what we're doing and the way we've always done things, to come freely before the throne of grace and into his presence, into his love, to be able to really slow down and inhale, to catch our breath in the place that we find ourselves, to have a new opportunity to say to God, Lord, I give you my life, I give you my heart, I give you all that I have and all that I am. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally and spiritually, and to allow God to refresh our spirits, give us a brand new perspective, and for us to lean on him as we seek to walk more in his ways. We're going to listen to a worship song called Take My Life. The lyrics are simple and beautiful. They say, take my life, take it all. There is nothing worth me clinging to but you. Search my heart, search my hands. Wash me from the stains till what remains is true. I lift my head, you lift my soul. Shining as the sun, you're the kindest one I know. So hear my voice, I make my vow to hold nothing in my heart but all you've sown. I pray that these words would sink into our hearts. Lord, that you would slowly begin to show us parts in our lives that need stripping back, reevaluating and simplifying. That you would show us where we're clinging on to things other than you. Lord, would you be number one in our hearts and in our lives? Amen.
Take my life, take it all. There is nothing worth me clinging to but you. Search my